Members of one Erie neighborhood are voicing their concerns over proposed plans. Coming up, you'll hear more.
We have new information on Saturday's wreck in Fairview that left a woman seriously injured. And open spots are still available at COVID-19 vaccination clinics. We'll tell you about one that will open this week.
Live in high definition. From your news leader, this is Jet 24 Action News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Brian Wilk. People that live by the Kakwa Bridge Ravine project are expressing their concerns. Some saying the proposed access road would cause a list of problems. Julia Hazel joins us now in the control room after speaking with neighbors. Julia?
Good evening, Brian. Now, neighbors did gather in a meeting today between Rosemont Avenue and Columbus Circle to voice their concerns, to where they even signed a petition against this access road. In a neighborhood meeting, residents voiced concerns to Erie City Mayor and the city engineer over new proposals about the Kakwa Bridge Ravine Drive project that involves building an access road right in the neighborhood.
I'm here because I'm concerned that they're going to ruin the environment. They don't need building roads that we don't need, and that in some cases are considered only to be temporary.
Kakwa Bridge over Ravine Drive is deteriorating and gives travel to Ferncliff residents, other neighbors, and the Erie Yacht Club that supports over 1,200 members and employees. One option is to build an access road for if and when the bridge is under construction.
Up to $165,000 for access road construction is funded, but beyond that, we don't have any funding for the bridge construction itself. That would come later.
And one road option would be located on Rosemont Avenue. One of the options is to put a road right here in front of the houses, leaving neighbors concerned. One neighbor is concerned both for the traffic and the beautiful nature that surrounds the neighborhood.
The thought of this street being overrun with large trucks and heavy traffic flow concerns me as a mother of small children who love to ride their bikes. I hope we can come to a solution here.
Now, according to Erie City Council members and city engineer, no plans have been made yet about this access road, and once most of the neighbors sign that petition, they will then deliver it to Erie City Council for deliberation. Brian?
Julia, thank you. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for Erie, the region, and across the state. The State Department of Health reports 17 new positive cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The total now stands at 18,324. Crawford County reporting 6 new cases. Warren County reports no new cases. Chautauqua County continues to report a total of 7,948. Ashtabula County is up 6. Now across Pennsylvania, 2,342 new cases reported, raising the total to over 986,000. That state also reporting 14 new deaths today. The total death total in the state stands at 24,788. Here's a look at the latest vaccination efforts in Erie County. 98,839 vaccinations have been administered. In Crawford County, the number is 35,271. And in Warren County, 10,913 shots have been given. Across Pennsylvania, over 4.3 million people have now been vaccinated. And be sure to click on this logo on our website, yourerie.com, with information on where and how you can sign up for a COVID-19 vaccination. The 2021 Erie Bike Fest has been canceled. According to staff, they made the decision to cancel the annual motorcycle rally scheduled for July 13th through the 18th after speaking with the Erie County Health Department and the Erie Western PA Port Authority. They say that compliance with COVID-19 restrictions still prevent them from presenting the event at the same level and high standard those have enjoyed in previous years. Open spots are still available at COVID-19 vaccination clinics. The clinics are set to be open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the Booker T. Washington Center on Holland Street. The clinics are open to anyone in Phase 1A of the state's vaccination plan, which includes people 65 and older and those 16 to 64 with health issues. To register for the clinic, call 800-753-8827 or 814-453-5744, extension 266. One woman was seriously injured after an accident Saturday afternoon. Now, the accident happened around 4 at the intersection of West Ridge Road and Millfair Road in Fairview. According to police, an 18-year-old male was driving south on Millfair when he ran a stoplight and struck a second car that was heading west on West Ridge Road. The 70-year-old female driver had to be extricated and taken to UPMC Hemet, where she is in critical condition. The male driver was not injured. The first woman to accuse New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual misconduct is now calling for his impeachment. During a rally in New York City, Lindsey Boland saying she wants a transparent process. ABC's Trevor Ault has the story.
This weekend, Governor Andrew Cuomo's first accuser speaking out at a political rally, surrounded by a crowd of demonstrators demanding his impeachment.
Someone who abuses their power doesn't just do it to one woman or one community. They do it on some level to every person and every community.
Former aide Lindsey Boylan claims Cuomo repeatedly sexually harassed her, allegedly kissing her without warning on one occasion inside his Manhattan office. Now, as she's running for Manhattan Borough president, she says Cuomo and his staff have tried to retaliate against her for sharing her story. Cuomo has denied any sexual misconduct or harassment, though he's acknowledged he may have made others uncomfortable unintentionally, and he and his aides have denied withholding or lying about the number of nursing home deaths during the pandemic.
And when the governor should have been focused on leading us out of this pandemic, he was instead focused on covering up the deaths of 15,000 New Yorkers and smearing me and my reputation.
Despite the majority of lawmakers in the state urging Cuomo to step down, he has sternly refused to resign, asking the public to wait for the results of the investigations. And New York Attorney General Letitia James, who is leading one of them, has so far been tight-lipped.
So the investigation is ongoing. We're still interviewing witnesses, and there's not much more to report other than that. We'll continue.
Another beautiful day, and I think we have another one coming up to start the week. Do we still hit 70? Oh, a complete forecast coming up.